take the questions. Inshallah, do about 10 minutes of those questions. They're all blank. No questions? MashaAllah. No questions, eh? Do the sisters have any questions? Was paper given to the sisters? Has someone been around to collect them? What time is Salat? One thing, about an hour from now. Inshallah. Now, inshallah, I'll answer some questions, if there are any, inshallah ta'ala. Then I have a list here. Are these just from brothers? Or did the sisters have questions? They pass questions over? All brothers only here? Okay. Did the sisters get a paper like this so they could write their questions down? Did you guys get a paper? You guys can, inshallah, write your questions down. Inshallah. Oh. I think I broke your mic. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, bismillah. Questions. First question. It says, when a loved one dies, people react in different ways to the loss. Some people remain quiet for days, weeks, others lash out. What is the Islamic manner that an individual should try to practice during such a situation? Now, it is natural for the human being to have remorse and to cry, but we shouldn't be crying out loud and screaming and hollering and wailing. That's forbidden for us. One of the things, Ali radiallahu anhu, he was digging a grave for a brother, and as he was digging the grave, he knows the brother's family, the one who passed, his family was crying profusely, and he got upset, and he said, why are they crying like this? He said, because if they knew that their time was coming too, they would cry worse than this. If they were to look at their own situation, they would cry worse than they're crying now. So one of the things I would say to do is that Islamically we're to look at our, we look at death, yes, we cry, but we don't scream out. We don't fall all over the place. Women don't pull their hair out, ripping clothes and things like this. It's okay to cry. If you don't speak, that's okay. Speaking is okay. Lashing out, we need to try and be careful with that, because you may hurt someone verbally or physically, and you'll say things or do things that you may wind up regretting later. So it's better to try and hold that, as they say, tahammul, bisabr, right? To handle it with patience, right? And patience doesn't mean just waiting. It means, but you constantly increase yourself in worship, make rakats, turn to Allah, make dhikr, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These kind of things help. Inshallah. Is Surah Al-Mulk the surah in the Quran that protects those who memorize from the punishment of the grave? Inshallah, yes. The Prophet ﷺ told us that Surah Al-Mulk protects one from the torment of the grave. So yes. Next question, what are the obligations that the living have to a recently deceased person? The obligations that you have are to make sure that person is buried as quickly as possible. That's the first one. That they're buried as quickly as possible. I don't know the system here in England, but obviously we don't allow embalming. So if a body's in the hospital, you need to get it out as quickly as possible before they decide to start embalming it. Or they send it out to the local Christian funeral home and you stick the tube in and suck all the blood out, and then fill it back up with some kind of fluid. One of the things about death is that the individual, even though he's dead, can still hear and feel everything that's going on around him. So if you have a dead body and you start kicking it, he's feeling it. He can't scream out, he can't say anything, he can't move. Everything you say and do, he can hear. So it becomes important that you get them out, because think of that kind of torment. Having some tube stuck inside of your body, and then all your blood is being sucked out. And then they stick another tube back inside of you, and then fill you back up with some kind of fluid. And Allah knows best what that will feel like, and I don't want to know. I don't want anybody else to know either. So it becomes important that you get the body out as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, that you get it washed as quickly as possible, and buried as quickly as possible. And then after that, you should look to see if that brother had any debts, and pay those debts. Because the Prophet ﷺ said that a person who dies shaheed, all of his sins are forgiven except one, and that's his debts. So the thing is, you have to try and make sure that this person's debts are paid as quickly as possible, so that person is not being tormented in his grave because of the debts that he owes. So that's what we do. We try to make sure that those debts are paid, and that their brother's family is taken care of. We, as a community, it's a communal obligation that we make sure that the brother's family is taken care of. That we try our best to make sure. It's hard to foot the bill for someone to pay the rent all the time and things like this. But the sister, if a brother dies and it's a sister who's not working, then the community should take it upon themselves to try and help, especially if she doesn't have family. I guess that's maybe a foreign idea to many of you, because all your families are here. But in my country, some people, their families aren't there. Mom and dad may live in Washington State, and they live in New York. That's a 4 or 5 hour plane ride. And it may be difficult for her to relocate. Or maybe her relatives are dead. Or her family may be in another country. And she has these children. She can't go back home. So the community should take it upon themselves to facilitate aid for their sister and for those children. And some brothers will have to take it upon themselves to become mentors for those kids. This is Islam. We're communal. We believe in helping each other. And Allah says that when you help make another Muslim's way easy, that He makes easy your way to paradise. So again, there's mercy in helping.